Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I have a question for Elizabeth, and just why I told her to stay there. And then I have another question after that. I would want to know how many cans of Narcan we give out every year and what Narcan costs per can, and then how many people are saved. And I know when you say how many people are saved, it's kind of like a question mark, because the only ones we can count are the ones that the police save or like that. And I know, like, we have a food pantry and we have Narcan and that, so people take it home. We have no clue whether they save somebody or not. So the number of people it saves is a very big whatever. I'm just trying to get an idea of what our law enforcement and the rest of them say.
Correct. I don't have the numbers in front of
I
me.
figured you
We
would,
provided-
that's why I wanted to ask the question.
42.
There you go.
Was it?
So the numbers we provide on a monthly basis to the Public Health and Safety Committee meeting, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I can get those because we just presented the numbers to Micah. And we go all the way to the end of October in the report I think we presented. But the other thing we do, I don't know how much it facilitates the warm handoff, but Dr. Burke has a little postcard that has all of our numbers so that all the first responders have it. So if there is a Narcan event or an overdose event, the first responders are encouraged to give them this. It's a little postcard size informational card with all of our contact numbers to facilitate potentially a warm handoff. So, geez, I need my cheaters here. I'm so sorry. I know.
It's attached to the public health and safety
Yeah.
agenda.
Thank you. I like these. Okay, so this, according to Dr. Burke's report, it looks like through October of 2024, we had distributed 906 containers of Narcan. And then and that was in October only, and then January to October 28th, it was 13,289. And that was over what we've done in the previous years. Currently, we get the Narcan free of charge. The only ones we have to pay for is if we go for the 8 milligram instead of the 4 milligram. And we did get a special grant through IDPH to purchase that, and we did, and then we provided it to the first responders because it's a double dose.
Right.
So. Thank you. But the overdose deaths and things, I can get you those numbers too.
I'm
I'll
just
send it to you.
curious on that stuff. I know we have it all the time at our,
Yeah.
it goes fast.
It's in a lot of micro pantries all over. We're really trying to hit all different places throughout the county to stock it. So, and we're getting more and more requests for those red boxes. And we're just waiting to get more red boxes in so we can put them out in different locations.
We got 2.
Thank you.
Right. And, you know, I don't know if you guys all saw about the 2-year-old who died. And they had given that to that child, and that was absolutely horrific that that child died because of that. So, and maybe it doesn't work for everybody. I'm not really sure what that is. So, but it does help people, and that's a good thing that they found something that can trigger people to come back, and that's a good thing. So,
And we are at an event. I mean, anywhere you go, if you go to any type of event in the county, the Narcan individuals are there. And they also are providing the fentanyl strips. So I don't know if anyone stopped by the Well Woman event yesterday at the National Hookup for Black Women, but we had a couple tables and they said that the Narcan was going like cats and dogs. So.
yeah.
I got.
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
Okay, then the last question I have is, we've been talking about giving money to Hero and Family Guidance for probably 4 months, maybe longer. And I just want to make sure we voted in the county board to fund them. And I don't know that we are or not. And I just want to make sure that we are, because that's important. You know, we voted to do it, and I expect that it's done already, but I want to, as long as we're talking about opioids, I was going to ask that question at the end of the meeting here, but as long as it's under opioid, I'd like to know, are we funding them finally? Are we not doing our due diligence and letting it go to another month? Are we going to bring it back for a third vote or a fourth vote after we already voted to do it? You know, I want to know, what are we going to do? Are we going to pay them? Are we not going to pay them, or are we paying them? Does anyone know?
So the other day, Jim, Chair Richmond and I went to talk with the county executive regarding a variety of things. And that was one of the things that came up because there were other allocations of dollars to other groups within the budget, right? And one we had heard about before, one we hadn't heard about before. And we're like, well, we have done those allocations and approved them by county board vote to give heroes and family guidance. And that's, we haven't got the resolutions back from that. And Jennifer said that, well, are we going to have an agreement? Because she mentioned situations that happened in the past with another group, the VAC that we gave funding to, and then that kind of went crazy. And I said, yes, there is an agreement. We have an agreement. Jim said, can we get it more narrow because of 16, 18 pages, which is rather long. So I think what agreement we need is the issue, and that's being held up and determined as to what it is. And ours, we would like to fund these groups without a reimbursement, and that was part of it at one point. And so that's kind of where we're stuck in the mud. And I know Mary has her light on, so she can say a little bit more.
So Mike, then if we voted, I mean, this has been a long-standing discussion, and these people have been here numerous times, and we all agreed to support them because they do great work. And then we turn around, is it being held up by just a technicality, or is it being held up by the county executive? Or is it we're just blowing it off? We vote for something and it gets blown off into the wind and no one cares. But our board voted to do it. And now we're not doing it yet. That's why I brought it up. I didn't know if we were. Now I'm a little bit aggravated that we're not doing it. Because we should be doing it. If our board voted to do it, we do it.
I believe
So
we
if
will-
someone's holding it up, what the hell's wrong with them?
I believe we will do it. We just have to get the agreement settled. So Mary,
Well, are we going to do it next year or 2 years from now? We voted to do it months ago and it ain't done. I want to know why. So someone's going to have to give me a good answer why. And if it's something garbage about who's going to oversee it, we didn't vote to have an overseer. We voted just to give them the money.
so we've actually voted to give them the dollars, half of the dollars. One group was split in half and one was split in four because the difference in the dollar amount, with them coming back to the finance committee with a report of what they had done, things like that. After that was satisfied, then they'd get the next payment out. That was what we had set up. So there wasn't
And
just,
what we voted on, what we set up is what should have happened. And it ain't happening. There's a problem. Somewhere there's a big problem. And I'm upset about it. So I won't talk anymore before I swear.
thank you. Go ahead, Mary.
So it is my understanding that Family Guidance did get the first payout and they bought the van with that. At the last county board, and I don't know who brought it forward, but it came from county board, an amendment to the resolution that required an agreement that would be drafted in conformance with a program adopted by county board. And you have no program. So how do we know how
So-
to draft the agreement?
So our program is
until
the
there is a
opioid settlement
program.
fund program that is stated. That is
Well,
what the
that's not,
program is.
that is not a program that's been adopted by county board.
So I agree
I
with
would-
Mary. We said we were going to go ahead and finish these two. And then, like I said, we had a net go out there, see what others are doing so that we could go ahead and move forward. We started with these two. We weren't prevented before. We feel that what they do and they're good standing organizations to move forward with them. That's the intent. That was the intent of the board.
All I can go by is what the county board voted on. And you voted on a resolution to have an agreement drafted in conformance with a program adopted by county board. And there is no program. I even asked at the meeting, do you have a program? And I was told, no, you don't.
The-
So I need, if you want to amend your resolution, you can do that at this meeting. But right now, the direction I have from county board pursuant to the vote taken by county board by an amendment to their resolution by county board is that there be a program that gives me guidance as to how to draft the agreement.
I got a backup question then. We talked about that in committee and we said, we'll just change it around and give them the money right now in increments like Judy
It
said.
doesn't matter what you talked about at committee. What
In other
matters
words,
is
the vote
what
of the
you
county
voted
board
on.
doesn't make a difference
No,
anymore?
I am specifically saying that the vote of the county board does matter. And this is what you voted on.
We voted to give them the money. And we
You-
voted, like Judy said, half the money and then the other half of the money. We didn't say, oh, we're gonna wait 6 months or a year, or if it never even happened. These groups are waiting for their money. They thought they're getting it. Now they ain't getting it. They're gonna have to wait till we come up with a plan that everyone has to approve.
That's
And
what you
that's what you're
voted
telling
on.
us? So these groups, they might as well go outside and eat grass, because they're not gonna get anything better.
I didn't make the amendment.
So, I think part of it got confused with others saying, well, we had to do this when I got dollars from ARPA and such, but ARPA dollars were different. They had a lot of rules and regulations, things tied to it. Opioid very specific as to what you can and cannot do it. I mean.
But we can't
cannot.
bind them to that without an agreement, Judy.
Right.
That is binds us. And I understand that.
So just for clarification, during the county board meeting, Member Freeman tried to make a motion to amend the resolution. Unfortunately, there was a lot of input also by the county executive trying to format what that amendment was going to be, by other members of the county board who were trying to format what that was going to be. And it got all convoluted until the very end, at which time Member Freeman made it very specific by reading into the record. If you listen to the county board meeting, it's at 3 hours and 22 minutes where she specifically states in that meeting what she wants in her amendment. Her amendment does not say subject to an agreement. That is not what she said. So that is not part of the resolution that was presented. I have in fact gone back and forth with the attorney for the county executive. We have listened to both of it. It is not there. She does not say the words subject to.
The resolution specifically requires an agreement.
The resolution does require an agreement after being reviewed by the state's attorney's office.
And the
Family
agreement is to
guidance
be in
has
conformance
submitted
with a program
second,
adopted by
Family
county.
Good
board.
Guidance has submitted an agreement. It was reviewed by the state's attorney's office, in which Mary responded that it contains all of the things that she wanted. So it has
I-
been reviewed. It has not been executed at this point.
I don't think I gave a formal opinion on that agreement. I simply said, it looks like it's in good shape and I think we can work with this. But I need a program from county board because that's what the resolution provides. And if you listen to what Micah said, she said she wanted to adopt exactly what was provided for in HERO. And that was a written amendment that was provided to the staff. And it makes total sense that you would treat all recipients of this money in the same way.
Well, unfortunately, that is not what her final amendment
Well,
said.
The
Because of
resolution
all
does
the people
require
that
a
were talking.
program and it does require an agreement. And when that's part of it, you have the agreement
Right.
before you give out the money, for heaven's sakes.
There is
That's
an
a
agreement.
basic concept.
Absolutely. Nobody's disputing the agreement. The program is what you guys were discussing, and the program is the distribution of the opioid funds.
County board has not adopted that. They have not said that. And as you can see, many counties have programs and they're very different. The county board has not spoken on what the program is.
So if
That is
we
what
did
staff
not-
has decided.
Okay, Mary, here's the thing. If we have not adopted a program, how did we give anybody any money whatsoever, including our own
Where,
departments?
show me the resolution where you adopted a program.
Did you adopt a program for the distribution of the cannabis money?
We did not.
It is not part of the opioid.
Right.
But you
But
adopted.
cannabis is tax revenue.
You adopted a resolution saying that the money would be distributed in conformance with the program. You set that standard. You, the county board, did.
Right, right. So it's a disagreement in what wording we're using here and what people are thinking, so let me have some green lights. You're on, Jackie, though.
So is there anything stopping us from very simply adopting a program since it's on the agenda today that states that we will use the opioid funds for this, and this. And we vote on it at the full board meeting next Thursday. And that is our program. And we can always change our program if we want to include something new or we want to remove something. We can say what our program is and then we're done.
Sure.
You can do that, or you can amend your resolution from last month and remove the condition that it's subject to the program.
Yeah, either one.
You can do either one.
It's not been timed. I don't think they can
I-
release it at this.
I think it
point.
has been signed. I
We
think-
haven't, it hasn't been returned to us yet.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I
Sherry.
guess I was probably gonna say what, same thing that Jackie said, too, we need to make a motion here to do that, or, I mean, if, okay. Let's adopt the opioid, my motion is to adopt the opioid program that we have been, that we received from the state's attorney's office, so it's the national program. So, that is my motion that the county board adopt that program.
I don't know.
Well, the
Yeah.
the opioid program that we're talking about, right? The
Yes.
opioid settlement program. The-
Program.
Well, that's why I'm saying we're the one that we were given that we're working off of.
And we can
So
amend it.
saying, Sherry, that you would like to adopt a program in Will County to distribute the opioid funds pursuant to the opioid settlement.
Okay,
agreement.
there you go.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Said it better than-
Second.
That is my,
Sure,
that
that-
is my motion.
Then check second Team Schlotman.
Can we have a roll call, please? Do you have that? Okay, thank you. Oh, let me put you on. There you go.
Parker,
Yes.
Balich,
Yes.
Dean Schlottman, Freeman,
Yes.
Mueller,
Yes.
Pretzel,
Yes.
Richmond,
Yes.
Trinier,
Yes.
Van Dyne,
Yes.
Williams, Ogalla,
Yes,
motion passes.
thank you. Annette, you see what you started here? So, thank you for your report. It was good. And then we'll look at getting the other information